John Aumann, and I'm restoring some historic windows in the area, and been doing that for quite a few years. I don't know how much more I can say about that, but also do carpentry and also.
So do you want to explain again where this window came from?
This window came from Fall River, a old station from the 1840s. So this is like a 180-year-old window, and it came out of the attic of this fire station that's now 4 apartments. But it's really a cool place. It had the in the front facing the street where the horse and carriage pulled the fire wagon, and in the back is a barn with the loft with hay, and the other part of it, with the small part, was the jail, and in that apartment there are bars because it was the jail for the police station. So it's really a cool building.
Yeah.
So that's where this came from, and this is already probably for the 4th window I've done for this building.
And so you said that you've already kind of cleaned it up a little bit?
I've cleaned it up. Now the bottom was just hanging there and it had angles on it. And so these are the angles that were on it. I repaired it somewhat and put dowels right into it. I put the dowel this size right into here.
And did you do the epoxy?
And the epoxy up. Well, when I did all the epoxy here, then I squeezed it all together and drove the dowel right through it up to here with clamps on it so it didn't move. And the same glass was able to go right back in, so it didn't move it at all.
So, so it was pretty rickety and you were able to stabilize it?
Oh yeah, well, it was just hanging there and it just had these angles in the corner holding it together.
So, what's the next step?
The next step would be to take each one of these glass out, put a bedding putty in here, put the points, the glazing points in, then put a bead of putty all the way around each one of those. That would be the next step. And then I've already cleaned it and primed where the glass goes, the rabbet where the glass goes. That's all primed, so they should always prime before the putty goes back.
And then you glaze it.
Then I glaze it, and when the putty hardens, I'll prime it again. And then I'll prime the whole thing for it.
Can you show your glazing tool and the...
Oh, the glazing tool.
Yeah, and so for those for people who might not know what glazing means, so that's just you bed the...
This is a glazing compound. You could call it putty also. But I'm going to do one for you. You're going to see what it is. So we're going to at least one.
And people can pick this up at the hardware store?
Hardware store usually doesn't have this. This is linseed oil putty. And it's a lot stronger and a lot better than the stuff you buy in the hardware store. And when you use, you could have used primer. I use oil primer around, or you could have used linseed oil. And the other putty wouldn't even stick to the linseed oil. This would stick because it's made with linseed oil and this powder called whitening. That's mixed together and ends up making this. But I use that because sometimes this putty is too soft. So in order to work it, I put a little of the powder in to make it right. And that's kind of what happens.
And so did you hand mix all of that yourself, or did you pick that up?
No, this is bought this way.
Okay.
And I can order this on Amazon. There's a SRS Supplies in Providence also handles a lot of the hardware and stuff. A little on the messy side. And this is a little tool that's cool. You can kind of just lift them right up. A little plunger kind of. You know, this is a little soft. So I add a little bit of this to it. If it needs it, so this is a new one. I hadn't like this. And this is the bedding putty that makes a seal to the wood. So you kind of just put that in here. And it makes a kind of a cushion for the glass to go to. Then when I put the glazing points, I put them in with this gun. But for people who don't have a gun, you can put them in by hand with the ones from the hardware store. You put in with a screwdriver and tap them in. I can show those if anyone was interested, because not everybody's going to have a gun to shoot the glazing points. Squeeze it out the bottom, and you get a seal to the glass. And then I would take this, a little bit. This is what's going to hold the glass in. You want a closer look at this. These are like little diamond kind of things. They're shooting in and they're holding the glass in place. And now the glass is held. And coming off with that. But normally when I do it, I would set all the glass and then come back and putty all the glass. But there's no need to show you. The next one's going to be the same as this one. And the trick to that is, I guess it's a little bit of experience, but you don't want to let the putty show too much to the inside. So like when you get this angle.
So,
Oh, do you want to move the bag of whiting?
Right?
There we go.
so the angle is just very slight, correct?
But yeah, but you see like there's a little bit of wood where the rabbit is. It's not all that much. So if you make it too much, when you look from the inside, you're going to see all this white in the window. So the test would be later, you just turn it over, take a look, and you see that how much you're going. But you don't need to put a lot of putty. All that is the putty is just kind of changing the angle of the water. So the water would just go.
And how long does that take to dry, John?
It would take about, this putty with linseed oil was going to take maybe 2 days. Then you could paint it.
And what kind of wood is that?
These originally were cypress. That's cypress wood on the floor. This one here.
Mm-hmm.
Cypress is a good wood, resistant to fungus and moisture. It kind of grows in the swamps like cedar, but it's harder than cedar. It mills nice. See, I have some.
And so what's the process so you've already cleaned this window up, but what's the process for removing the glazing to get the glass out in the first
Well,
place?
there's a couple of things that can be done. I I did it all dry with a sharp chisel and around the whole thing. You have to get that, you have to get out the old glazing points. There are heaters, and I have a heater. If the glass is broken, it's easy to use the heater. If the glass is good and you're trying to save the glass and the heat gets too hot, and then it can crack the glass. So you couldn't lose. This is a little bit.
How did you learn how to reglaze windows?
Well, it's more practice, you know, it's like anything else, you do it. Been doing it a long time. I think I have a story, like when I think I was probably 9 years old. I was working with, we had old garages with the doors that opened. And one summer I was playing with the putty and I was doing the windows, and I don't know if I started at 9 years old, but I did do some windows. And then when I looked at them years ago, they weren't so bad.
A prodigy.
But just kind of, you know, I used to own some old houses, and then this old house, a lot of these windows on this old house were restored. They were in tough shape when we bought the house 29 years ago in November. I restored a lot of them. The storm windows on the upstairs, I made those. There were no storm windows on the upstairs.
So that big window over there, is that to the firehouse too?
That's the frame. This window sits inside that one
Oh,
side.
that's the frame, I see.
Yeah, and it needs it needs a bottom. The bottom sill is rotted. And so I'm gonna cut a piece of that cypress and make a sill for it too. Yeah.
So this restored window will last for a long time.
I would think, you know, it's the same wood that was there for, I don't know if sand is original. I'd say that if it was in 1841, and this thing's been outside in the weather since then, and we just pulled it together and puttied the glass, I would think this has a lot more life in it. Some of these replacements, on this house, I did on one window facing the south, I did a good replacement window, and it didn't last 20 years. And the glass failed, and then I ended up getting a new one. Then I made a storm for it. But it was supposed to be with all the thermopane glass and all this stuff, and it didn't last 20 years. The ones that are on the front of the house are since 1850. So I don't know. It may be more efficient, but I think it's for a short time in the life of. What I do after that, to clean up, I use the same powder. And that takes all the oil off the glass. Makes it easy to clean after.
And what is that substance?
That is the putty's made out of this and linseed oil. This is called whitening, and
that's the
it's
whitening.
calcium. It's just a natural chemical. The only thing, you know, that I find with these old windows like this is on people that have houses with kids, that all these things are loaded with lead. I mean, you know, these are leaded painted windows, so people have buy an old house, they're kind of stuck is, well, what are you gonna do with the lead paint?
Well, you could dip the window
You can,
and then restore it.
then restore it, then you're gonna get all of the, out of it. Then you fill some of the wood with the dipping chemicals.
So John restored, with some whale interns, all the windows at the historic 1829 First Baptist Church. How many windows were there, John? Like 60?
There was something like 66, and then I made one new one for where the peak of the roof towards the chapel. So that was like 67, And then we did 6 more on the ground floor, right there on the driveway.
So restoring all those windows, we have a historic, high-quality window product, and it actually was less expensive than buying replacement windows.
How does that look?
Beautiful.
Beautiful.
Yeah, because I don't have all, I mean, it was like a beige kind of like color and an off-white on the inside. I don't know, whatever was in the apartment in that firehouse. So I can't be painting the whole thing, so I just present them. It's been fixed, been glazed, all repaired, and they can put it back. But it's all scraped and primed, so it's all smooth. The part that both sides have been sanded. So I think it's in pretty
Did they
good.
drop off another? How many total hours do you think you put into that?
Into that window, this one's small. I would think maybe 3-4 hours.
That's great.
And it, you know, I cleaned it off when you guys were here the last time. I had cleaned
So it's
it off.
definitely cost effective to restore them,
Well-
because it would cost whatever, how much, $1,000 for a new window?
Sure. Well, you have something to go by at the Baptist church. You see that, you know the total for all those windows.
Yep.
And if you did it by each, you know, and it wasn't only me, the other guys were putting them in, and then you had volunteers painting and stuff. There's still, like if someone's gonna paint this, both sides, 2 coats, they can spend a couple hours of painting.
So this will last for, you know, another 100+ years, right?
Well, yeah, well, you know, all of this was just hanging there with those angles.
Mhm.
I put it back.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, chances are it's close to that, and probably at least 100 if it wasn't replaced along the way. It could have been original. The ones in this house, the 1850s, 1860s, the Gothic windows, and those are all original.
Mm-hmm.
If you take care of them, you can, you know, get 150 years and they're still looking decent. And then you can repair pieces. I have a thing with those replacement windows with the thermopane, is when the thermopane glass gives out and it starts misting up, you look at them and all of a sudden you get all of this water inside and between the glass, and then if they don't do anything to them, the water's going down and rotting out the bottom frame. So you have this thing, oh yeah, the thing's good, it's metal covered, everything, and you look inside and the bottom's rotting.
Yeah.
And that can be, you know, 20 years. Because I had one replacement when we did the window to the kitchen. My wife wanted from this Colby and Colby and put it over. And in 20 years, I was getting Colby and Colby to make me another one.
And Colby's good window.
Good windows, yeah. But the glass failed. And then they say, oh yeah, we'll change the glass. I look at the thing, oh yeah, well now I have to make the rail, so we might as well get a new one rather than me to start making another one. I could have made another one. But what I did is make a storm window to go over it.
Ah.
So I made the storm to go over after it was replaced, I put the storm window on. A wooden storm window.
Well,